What's going on, guys? It's TaicoWhite here for Team Cardfighters United, and today I'm here with you guys for a deck profile I've been so excited for. I literally just got the rest of the cards in the mail about 15 minutes ago, and I'm already doing the deck profile because I'm just really that excited for it. It's a deck that I've been playing with for a long time. I just did the box opening for the trial deck for cards that come in this, or for cards that are in this deck, and that is the Granblue trial deck that just came out. So today I'm going to be showing you my Nightrose, Nightmist deck profile. Let's go ahead and get right into it. For the starter, we are running Undying Departed Granok. Granok is a really good starter. He's probably the best Granblue starter they have right now. He's got Forerunner, obviously, and he also has the Hollow ability, and the Hollow ability is very present in this deck. And it's, whenever it's placed on rear guard, you can hollow it, which means it becomes hollow, and at the end of the turn it retires. His GB1 is whenever it's put into the drop zone because of hollow, he countercharges 2. So that's really good. It's a really easy countercharge that you pull off a lot of skills easily. And because of the next card I'm about to show you, it's actually really broken. And for the main boss of the deck, we have 4 Nightrose. That is Vampire Princess of the Nightfog, Nightrose. Its once per turn skill is you can put 3 cards from the top of your deck to the drop zone as the cost for whenever your rear guard is put into the drop zone to call it back. So whenever something's put into the drop, you can just call it right back with that skill. And because of Granok, at the end of the turn, Granok retires from hollow. Use the skill, or retires from hollow, countercharge 2, use the skill, mill top 3, call him back, because at the end of the turn he retires again, countercharge another 2. That's countercharge 4. And that is a really, really good skill. Really easy way to countercharge. This deck is very counterblast heavy, but because of the fact that you can countercharge so easily, it doesn't even matter. So, now on to our other grade 3. We are running 4 Nightmist. I love this card. This card is great. It is the Granblue Break Ride, and its skill is Limit Break 4. Whenever Granblue rides his unit, give it plus 10,000 power, and choose 2 Granblue from your drop, call them to rear, and they get plus 10,000 power. At the end of the turn, retire those units. He also has, whenever he attacks, if you have 4 or more Granblue rear guards, you get plus 2,000. He also has the Lord skill, so if you ever have anything that's not Granblue on the field, he can't do anything. It happens. Okay. So that is all of our grade 3s. And it's really great because with all the stuff you do in here, so you're on him, break ride, call 2 things. And because it's not giving you a skill or anything, to call 2 things is a break ride that you can break ride and then stride. So you break ride and then stride, just any stride unit. Her on-stride skill goes off. That I just realized I forgot to mention, but it'll be okay. Her on-stride skill is, whenever you stride onto her, you can counterblast 2 to superior call something from your drop, and it gets plus 2,000 until the end of the turn. This skill does not retire what you call, so keep that in mind. And that is all of our grade 3s. Now, on to the grade 2s. Our only 3 of, because the rest of these cards are 2 ofs, in our grade 2 lineup, is Columbard. Columbard is a great card, and plus his artwork is just fantastic. But yeah, Columbard's skill is, he's the Amber clone of Granblue, so whenever he attacks a Vanguard and he's boosted, you can counterblast 1, and you can superior call something from your drop. So it's just really good. You pull off a lot of combos with him, get extra attacks off because of the superior calling, and it's just a really good skill. All the Amber clones are pretty good. Next up, we have Skeleton Cannoneer. Cannoneer is really good because of the fact that he has the Hollow ability, just like Granok, and whenever he's placed on rear, you can counterblast 1 to choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it, and then, if it's hollowed, you can draw a card. So you get a retire and a draw off this one guy for 1 counterblast. So it's a really nice skill that it can help you out a lot. I don't use him often, but every once in a while he's saved my butt. You know, killing off some important rear guards of the opponent and saving me some time having to deal with them other ways. Next is Witch Doctor of Langor Negrolazy. Sorry if I butchered that name. Negrolazy also has the Hollow ability, and his second skill is whenever he's placed on rearguard, if you have a Vanguard with Nightrose in the card name, you can Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, to Superior Call a grade 2 or less card not named Negrolazy from your drop and call it a rear. It gets plus 2,000 until the end of turn, and the skill, and when it's put in the drop, do the effect of a Hollow ability, Countercharge 1 and Soul Charge 1. So if you use his skill to call this guy, and then use the skill of Nightrose, that's you're basically countercharging 5 that turn. So that's why he's important. So yeah, that's another free call. So usually what you're going to want to do is Columbard, boosted by something, call this, use his skill, call Granok, and then you can, it's just a beautiful creature altogether. Lots of magical things happening. Speaking of magical things, this deck gets a lot of magical numbers that we're about to discuss in a second. So as we're done with this card, this is an old card in the deck, but it is Dragon Undead Ghoul Dragon. The skill of Dragon Undead Ghoul Dragon is not as good as the rest of the skills in this deck, but I still think it's a viable card, because whenever it's placed on rear from your drop until the end of turn, it gets, when its attack hits a Vanguard, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and retire it. So basically, call him with something when you Superior Call from your drop, and if he hits your Vanguard, you get to retire a unit of your choice for no cost. So it is an on-hit skill, but it's worth it because you have other cards to pump this guy up, so where if he most likely is going to hit. So that is it for our grade 2s. I'll show you some of the combos I'm talking about towards the end of this video. So that is all of our grade 2s. Let's move on. Oh, that's not all of our grade 2s because I'm dumb. Hey, look, let's look at this guy. Probably one of the most important guys of the whole deck, and I forgot about him. Witch Doctor of the Rotten Sea, Negrorook. Negrorook skill is he also has Hollow, but his main skill is a Generation Break 1. When it attacks, it gets plus 2 to the end of that battle. And also, when it's hollowed, it gets plus 5 until the end of that battle. So it's plus 7 on attack when he's hollowed, which makes him, by himself, a 17k attacker. And that is beautiful. He will hit hard. Like, Jesus Christ. There are other cards you can combo with him. There's just one card, Superior Call it, and it'll make a column that will hit for C16 plus the 10 is 40,000 power in one column. It's just straight up beautiful. Now moving on to the grade 1s, we have 2 copies, if I can just pick up those 2 copies, of Witch Doctor of Powdered Bone Negrobone. Negrobone's skill is Generation Break 1. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted a rearguard. If you have a Vanguard with Nightrose in its card name, pay the cost, which is Counterblast 1. If you do, retire the unit that was boosted during the battle and choose one card with a Hollow ability from your drop and call it. Okay, so have him use a skill of some sort, call this, boost, attack. He's 16 by himself, plus the 7, that's 23. Skill goes off, Counterblast 1, retire this, call a second one from drop. That's an extra 16k attack, so you can see why this guy is good. I surprisingly enough don't use his skill very often, and I have no idea why. I'm just used to using Columbard and Negrolazy and getting those skills off instead. But the couple of times I've used him when he's been in my drop have been very it's a whole extra attack. And if you use Negrolazy and you pull off the skill right and basically have him with, just say this guy in front of it, boost, attack, use his skill, retire, call Negrolazy, Negrolazy skill, retire this to call your other Negrobone, and there you go. That's another attack. You can use this skill again, bring this guy back out, hit again. So there's tons of combo moves you can pull off with this deck that just make it devastating. I just love the way this deck plays. Next, we're playing 2 of the Limit Break Enabler just to make your break rides go up easier. Because if you break ride and go into Nightrose and Stride, it's pretty good. Because just from one Counterblast and that break ride, that's Superior Calling 3 units without even the effect of into your Stride going off. So it's beautiful to see this happen. Next, we have 3 of Boatswain Armin. The only reason I'm running Boatswain Armin is because Sword Master Mimic. I keep calling it Master Sword Mimic because I guess I like Zelda. I don't know, it just happens. I don't do it on purpose. But I run Sword Master Mimic because whenever he's called, if he's hollowed, you give +3 to himself and +3 to another unit. Boatswain Armin is just when he's called from rear, give it +3. Or give himself +3. But the Sword Master Mimic isn't out yet. It's a promo that hasn't been released in English yet. So as soon as I get him, I'm replacing those. But yeah, he just, on call, he's a 10k booster from your drop, so it's definitely not bad at all. And then the beautiful creature that is known as Freddy the Ghosty. I mean, look at this man. He's obese. It's beautiful. He's beautiful. That's what he is. He's just like, he's a little balloon man. Look at this little balloon man. He's just your perfect guards. He's the normal perfect guard, so you can guard your rear guards with him, even though this is Granblue, you wouldn't want to. I just, he came with a trial deck. I'm eventually going to be getting the Tornado Gen perfect guard, because he's the unflipper, even though you don't need him either. Now that I think about it, so I'm not going to get it at all. You counterblast a lot in this deck, but just because of this one guy right here, you do not need the unflipped perfect guards, in my opinion. You can run them, and they would help, so just so you don't have to worry as much about calling him. And I still think it's a much better idea to just have Granok, because then you don't have to worry about paying a lot of money for the other one. But our last grade one is Tommy the Ghosty Brothers. Tommy the Ghosty Brothers is just the stride enabler for the deck, and it also has the skill of when it's placed on rear, from your hand, choose a grade 3 card and reveal it to search for Nightrose, put it in your hand, and then discard a card. So it's just going to search out your Nightroses for you, which is definitely really good. I just realized I've been going through all the extra combos and stuff for the deck the entire time throughout the video. So I guess I won't really have to do it at the end. So onto our trigger lineup. That's for Jimmy the Ghosty crit, for Refshi's Banshee crit, which is the Psychic Bird clone, so put it into Soul to draw if you have a Granblue rearguard. And then the most beautiful trigger in this entire deck, Mick the Ghosty and Family. Mick the Ghosty and Family he has the hollow ability, and when he's placed on rear from drop, if he's hollow, choose one of your other units and he gets +10. +10. And when it's supposed to go to drop the end of turn, he just goes back to deck. Like, it's beautiful. And it's not when it goes to drop at end of turn, actually. It's just whenever it's put into the drop zone, it goes back to deck. So, use that. Use something else, call another one in the same spot to kill this. This goes back to your deck to give you another trigger. That's another 10, and then if you have something in your hand, just extra, like, just a booster, call that instead. And you just give 20k to something and still gave it a decent booster. So yeah, I love this trigger so much. It is beautiful. I literally use it all the time. Then 3 Good Luck Charm Banshee, that crit, which is a very, it's just adorable. It's got a little ghosty. Or I'm having 3 of that heal, and then 1 of the Dr. Rogue heal, because it was the heal that I got from the first ever pack of Vanguard cards that I bought. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna run this. And that is all for the main deck. Now we'll move on to the strides. For the strides, I will save the best for last. So, 1, Loved by the Seven Seas, Nightmist. Nightmist skill is once per turn, counterblast 1 if you have a heart with 7 Seas, being our Nightmist break ride. You can superior call 2 cards from your drop with separate rear, and at the end of the turn, they retire. See, he's not bad whatsoever. Let me go ahead and move this deck out of the way. And then 3 Bandit Rum, which is the on-hit superior call something and give it grade 2. So if you're superior call something and try and give it grade 2. I want to replace. I need 4 of the Nightrose Stride. The Nightrose Stride is on attack, counterblast 2, superior call 2 units from your drop in separate rows. So basically it gets you an extra column. Or if you play the right cards, that gets you extra calls too. Because you can call a Columbard column, Counterblast, and get an extra Negro Rook. It's just a lot of things can happen with that. But it's $40 a piece, and I need 4 of it. So I'm just waiting and using the best card in the entire game instead. Oh, Ghosty Great King, Obadiah. Look at this man. Does this look like the face of Mercy? Does it? Because it's not. It's just not, man. Okay, I'm running 4 of him. And his skill is, when he's placed on your Vanguard circle, search your deck for the 3 cards, put them into your drop zone, shuffle your deck. Just stopping right there. That is already an amazing card. It completely sets up your drop zone. 3 cards. 3. So, just off the top of my head, need 3 cards in your drop. Hey look, there's Negro Rook. Negro Lazy. Boom. Just these 3 cards, that's already combos. Already worth right there. You just throw whatever you need in the drop in there. And that's not even his entire skill, because he also has, if 2 or more cards with the Hollow ability were put into your drop zone with this effect, choose a normal unit with Ghost Unit's card name from your drop, call it a rear on the same column as this unit. So if you have Granok behind him and need Granok in your drop zone, so you can use his skill, you put, you found him, you just throw either Tommy Brothers in the drop, or I wouldn't recommend throwing a Perfect Guard in there, but you can use him because it's a normal ghosty unit. You can't call Mick, sadly, or I totally would, but you would just put this in your drop, you call Mick over him, he retires, and then he's in your drop zone to start using those skills. You can also use him, because of how much you're pulling cards out, you can use him to basically, if you use him 4 times, that is 12 cards out of your deck, and you can choose 12 cards that aren't triggers. Put them in your drop. That is a lot of trigger sacking. That's just milling out a lot of your cards that aren't triggers to mean where your attack. You're almost guaranteed a trigger at that point. It is beautiful. And plus, you're sending back the mix when you're using their skills. So it's triggers happen a lot when you use this guy. So I recommend, if you have the money for it, instead of using this stride lineup, have one of the Nightmist stride, 1 Bandit Rum, 2 Obadiah, and then these 4 would be your Nightroses. And that's going to be all for this deck profile today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I know that I'm really excited to get to play some of this deck. I will try really soon to record a couple fights with this and my Seeker deck so you can see them in action. And remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you have anything that you wanna see on the channel. Just make sure to let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Well, that's it for today, guys. Have a good day, and remember, meta is disgusting.